So we're going to do more traditional ab style circuit now that we've covered some basics and we're getting into our core a little bit more. I will start off on my back. So everybody who's able to work out with me, join me on the floor here. We're going to start off laying down. You can have your hands underneath your butt and your lower back really flattened into the floor here. Knees are going to be at a 90-degree angle. And then you're going to draw your core in really nice and tight. Your head can be on the floor too if you want. And we're just going to reach out with one foot, tapping the floor, and then the other foot. Just going back and forth. If that's extremely easy for you and you go, oh, that's excruciatingly boring, you could start off with your feet nice and tall, your legs straight, and doing little flutter kicks. Flatten your lower back into the ground. Draw your core in tight, and then just lower your feet to the level that's correct for you. Lower your feet go, the harder it's going to be. If you have your feet really high up, it's going to be easier. Lower down is going to be a little bit harder, making sure that your lower back is really pressed into the floor, and your core is drawn in tight. And then if that's still really easy, you're fluttering away and it's still really easy, you can lift your head up off the floor. It's going to recruit a few more muscles. All right, so we're all going to do it together for 30 seconds. I'm going to tap my timer and we'll go to it. And go, 30 seconds here. So if you're at level 1, doing your position like this. Level 2, finding that sweet spot, making sure your core is drawn in really tight, seeing where the right level is for your feet here today. And then level 3, lifting up your head, feet are really low to the ground, core is still drawn in super duper tight. And done there. Good job, don't 30 seconds go by quickly. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to switch to a glute bridge exercise. When your muscles get tired, it's easier for them to overcompensate and do other things that we don't want them to be doing. We want them to be recruiting in the most efficient way possible, not just in the way that they're habitually recruiting. If that makes sense? So we're going to come down, doing a glute bridge. Feet are actually close together, close to your butt. Knees are glued together tight here. Head's on the ground, and we're going to engage our core, lift our hips up as high as we can, squeeze at the top up just a little bit higher, keeping those knees together, and then bringing your hips down. So again, squeezing everything in tight, drawing your core in, lifting up, squeezing up a little bit higher, and then coming down. All right, let's go to it. This is a narrow glute bridge, 30 seconds. Pause at the top, squeeze up higher, then come down. Checking in with your core, making sure that your core is drawn in nice and tight here. Checking in with your knees, making sure they're drawn in nice and tight. And of course, checking in with your breathing. Beautiful. And done. That was 30 seconds again already. I hope you guys are feeling great. We are going to go on to a toe touch crunch here. So what this could be is any sort of crunch that works for you. You're going to start off, knees will be up here or they can be down, and you'll reach for your knees, pause at the top, draw your navel in tighter, and then come down. If that's, again, excruciatingly easy for you, you can have your feet extend, well, you can have your legs up here. If your knees are at 90 degrees, that's a little bit easier than if your feet are straight up. And then if you want to go for your toes, you can reach for your toes here or any spot along your leg that is comfortable for you. Now, what that does is it sort of keeps you honest. If you reach your toes every time, you'll know that you're working just as hard at the last rep as you were at the initial rep. So what this would look like is I reach my toes, I pause at the top, draw my core in a little bit tighter, and then I come down. Okay, let's do 30 seconds all together. If you ever need a mini rest, you're welcome to take one and come back to it as you're able to. 30 seconds. Again, level 1 would just be reaching for my knees here, doing a crunch, pausing at the top, squeezing in tighter, coming down. Level 2, I'm again reaching, but my knees are up. And level 3, pausing the top, squeezing in tighter, then coming down. And done. Good job, everybody. All right, so now we're going to do another glute bridge, giving your core a little bit of a rest here, through the front and working the back. This time we're going to do a single leg glute bridge. So my left leg is coming up, my right heel's on the ground, heel's close to my butt, and I'm going to keep my hip bones nice and even as I bring my hips up and down. So when I say even, they're even to the floor underneath me, and they are so at the top as well. I notice that my left hip isn't dropping or raising up extra high. They're staying nice and even, but they're also even to the wall in front of me and square to the wall behind me as well. So everything is nice and square, and we'll go ahead and do 30 seconds here. Let's go. Just hanging out on one side. You can have your hands on your hip bones if it makes it easier to ensure that your hips are staying square. And hopefully you can really feel this through your glutes. You're stabilizing. Beautiful. 3 seconds left. And then because this was a single leg exercise, we'll do the other side. Okay? Go ahead. Pause at the top. See if you can get a little more range of motion. Come on down. Lovely. I hope you're enjoying this. You're feeling a little bit of heat through your body. Getting a little bit of extra oxygen to your brain. Beautiful. You're breathing. We all need that air. Nice. That's 30 seconds again. So from here, what we can do are some scissor kicks. So initially we did flutter kicks, which is where your feet are sort of going like this. Now we're going to do some flutter kicks where your feet are going like that. Again, we're going to start off with your legs going upright. And then you're going to keep that lower back pressed into the ground. Keep your core drawn in tight as you lower your feet to get the right angle. Now, sometimes people have a little bit of difficulty with feeling exercises in their lower abs. That can be helped by bringing your feet a little bit wider apart. So if the scissor kicks, you're not really able to feel it the whole time, just do little circles with your feet wide apart here at the distance from the floor that's right for you, then it can help you feel it in your lower abs a little bit more. Alrighty, so back to our activity here. Let's go ahead. I am pressing my lower back into the ground. Hands are under my butt, drawing my core in tight, and then feet are going up towards the sky. I'm going to start my little scissors, keeping my navel drawn in tight as I lower my feet to find the level that's right for me. If at any point I notice that my hips are tilting forward, my belly's coming out, then I'll know that my feet have gone down too far, my body's getting a little tired, and I should just focus on the scissor. Beautiful. All right, that's 30 seconds there. So now we're going to go ahead and do one more glute bridge. This time, we're going to have a little bit of core activation through the front of the body while we're doing the glute bridge through the back. So I'm going to start off single leg again. Hips are coming up high, lowering my leg, bringing my leg back up and down. So hopefully you can feel as you keep your hips really nice and stable, there's a little bit of an extra challenge happening through the front of your body here as you're playing with your left leg. So all the work is happening everywhere. But we've got the right glute powering us up. Left leg is moving down, up, and then hips come down. Let's take 30 seconds here. Power up. Left leg's down. Left leg's up. Core staying in tight the whole time. Hips come down. Up. Left leg goes down. Left leg goes up. And hips come down. Got 10 seconds left. Beautiful. Say a nice little thank you to your body. It's doing a fabulous job. And we'll switch to the other side. Power up. Draw your core in nice and tight. Drop your right leg now. Bring your right leg back up and down. Again, don't forget you have the option to have hands on hip bones. If it helps you, keep your hip bones nice and even. And you can feel where your body is working as well. Feel the left glute working, the muscles through your core working to keep you nice and stable, keep those hip bones even as you move the right leg. 3, 2, 1. All right, let me check on how we're doing for time here. Oh, beautiful. We are doing impeccable for time. We're going to come down onto our stomach now. We're going to do a Superman. I'm concerned it might be a little bit difficult for you to see. So I'm going to act out what I'm doing with my arms, looking at you guys first. So in the Superman, I would be laying on my stomach. These will be my arms. So I'm laying on my stomach. My arms are up. My legs are up here. So I'm making sort of a boat shape laying on my tummy. My hands are up like this. And we're going to add a pull down to it. So I'm starting on my tummy like this, lifting up nice and high, lifting my thumbs back up towards the ceiling. And then I'm going to do a little pull down here, squeezing my shoulder blades behind me. So if my hands are my shoulder blades, they're squeezing down and back and in towards each other. And then they're coming out. So it'll look like this. All right. Okay. So let's all roll down onto our stomachs. We'll do 30 seconds here. So you can see I'm lifting my feet up nice and high. Arms are coming up nice and high. And pulling down. Seeing if I can lift my chest off the floor even a little bit more every time I pull down with my elbows. Checking in with my shoulder blades, squeezing them down my back and in towards each other. And of course, if you feel a big cramp up or it doesn't feel good, you can absolutely take a little rest. And we are done there. So go ahead and give your tummy a little stretch. You can rock a little bit side to side. You can push back as well, rounding through your back here in a little child's pose. Go ahead and place your right hand on top of your left, and then really lean your body to the right. You can switch sides whenever it feels good. Put your right hand back on the right side of your mat, put your left hand on top of the right, and then lean your body to the left. And come on out of it. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.